First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
If you've struggled for years to lose weight and have given up hope, did you know you can now access GLP-1 prescription medications at TryLifeMD.com? We're now offering eligible patients online access to GLP-1s, the breakthrough prescription medication that can help you lose body fat and weight. Listen to what people are saying.
It's fun to put on jeans that you couldn't get into 6 months ago.
Every morning, I look forward to getting on the scale. For anybody who's struggling with their weight, it's a godsend.
And here's the best part. Your insurance may cover 100% of the cost of your medication. So go to TryLifeMD.com to have your eligibility checked right now. Get started today at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
Rick E. Lewis in studio now. Rick, good morning.
Good morning.
Can we kill that clock in the back there because I'm getting some sound? And actually, Jeff, while you're doing that, can you see if you look on that RE20, there's that little switch. Switch it over for me. Okay, try it now.
Okay.
That sounds a little better.
Yeah.
That mic blows. I don't know why.
Was that the suck knob that the sound guys use to make you sound better and worse? They like
this needed a little bit of a higher end sound.
Okay.
This guy's arrogant. Hit the suck button.
This guy is really bombing.
Turn it to 10, Scotty.
I'm sorry. The mic doesn't work well. We're going to have to cancel the interview. Okay, so you had a chance to see it on Friday night. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, okay. I've thought a lot about it. And this thing I read on the internet is the perfect explanation. They were talking about a movie, and the synopsis was about this teenage girl that goes to this place. She kills somebody, meets 3 people, they go traveling together, and she kills somebody else. And I'm like, what movie is that? The Wizard of Oz. That's not the movie I remember.
Okay,
but is it untrue?
That's an interesting.
It's 100% true.
Right.
And as I watched it, I said, well, I'm not saying I agree with every single thing they said in the film, but it made me think of things a lot different. And they were talking about the experience of the people that had went. And I realized all the people I know that went were like what they described. Well, if you had a VIP pass or media, you could get backstage and you could hang out. You could go home and come back. Completely different experience than the people that were there. And that was the porta potties. That was their bathroom. It wasn't just like for me walking by.
That's interesting.
And it wasn't that I agreed in the way everything turned out, but I never actually thought that, a lot of people pay a lot of money for the inconvenience of going camping and doing without
anything.
I agree.
Yeah. Right. So and by the way, are you going off to a concert without money? You're going to have money.
Yeah, come on.
So the water's $4. Well, you could have bought one and then filled up that container 50 times. There was water all over the place.
Yeah. It's like that at any major event. How much does a beer cost at a game?
Right.
Well, this is 20 years ago, and water was $4. Wait, are you saying there was like a tap? People could just refill a bottle?
There were places they could get water.
Yeah,
really?
There were water places. Yeah.
Okay, well, to me, that takes away some of the outrage.
I think the outrage over the water was ridiculous. It was just an excuse. I think it was an excuse to. Yeah. It's like, listen, I think that there were a lot. What I wrote in my piece is that they tried to apply what happened back then by today's standards. So with the angry white male thing, the Me Too movement and all of these things. Let's not forget, and I know you got to be careful saying this, and I will be careful saying this, but are we surprised that this, to me it was more, and I've been to spring break, Daytona Beach, Fort Lauderdale, that sort of thing, where college kids get all amped up, they travel down, they're all together, the rules are basically are gone, you're away from your parents, and add alcohol and drugs to the mix, and you've got. I was in. This was 1983, 84, I think, and we went down on a bus trip to Daytona Beach. When it was time for us to leave, the bus was waiting, but none of us could leave the hotel. You know why? Because police were there. Everyone was being interviewed on the way out. Before you could leave your room, you were being interviewed. Because kids in that building destroyed the hotel. The sheetrock was ripped off the walls. Doors were off the hotel rooms. The elevator, the guts of the elevator, completely exposed because the sheetrock was ripped off. Who would do so? What animal would do such a thing? Was it because they were charging too much for water? No. It's because you put a group of college kids together and they all get drunk and crazy things happen. Yeah. And it starts with one guy kicking the wall and there's a hole in the wall. Then somebody else walks by and says, let me pull on the sheetrock. And they rip it off the wall. And it just got worse and worse. And it was crazy. That, to me, is what Woodstock was. Not some assessment on the social or on capitalism or on... Yeah. I just think it was so blown out of proportion, so distorted and simplified, trying to say, well, this is what happened. Well, there were a lot of things. There are a lot of things that could have done. Rick, starting with the lineup, don't you think?
Well, I think...
The lineup, what do you expect with that lineup?
The lineup was not something that would be a love, peace,
correct,
tie-dye
type of
list of acts. So...
Yeah, when Jewel was playing, maybe.
Well,
that's when everybody went to go get water for $4
right.
a bottle.
When Jewel was playing, it was all peace, love, and you know what.
Did you ever look at the lineup for the New Orleans Jazz Festival? They'll have headlining, where's the jazz?
Right. There was nothing. Yeah.
And that's the same way as the Woodstock was. Where is this love, peace,
love music?
It wasn't. It was just a name to get people.
It was the producers. You got to blame the producers on this. They kind of knew what they were creating, or maybe they didn't. Maybe it was like, well, we can't get this band. These guys say they'll play. Let's just get them. At some point, you have to say, no, this doesn't fit the brand of what we're trying to do, and they didn't do that.
One of the things, I'm sorry, Rick, one of the things I noticed in the trailer, I obviously have not seen the documentaries you guys have, was there a painting of a picture of this was inevitable, that this was going to happen no matter what?
I will tell you that, the time I worked at Rock 107 and was in the same building as K-Rock, a lot of that music was played on K-Rock at the time. And when the lineup came out, I remember everybody having a conversation in the common area. We're all just standing there, and the whole conversation was about, this is inevitable. This is going to go bad. This lineup, there is going to be violence. And oh, by the way, you send your daughter off to go, okay, go have fun at Woodstock, and she strips down naked, gets drunk and high, and begins to crowd surf over these guys that are like in the mosh pit. There is no excuse for sexual assault, but I don't think you should be surprised that you got a bunch of guys copping a feel. Should we be surprised?
I understand what you're saying.
I mean, all of this could have been prevented, but it just happened. But it's many things collectively that caused, in my opinion, that caused what happened. And I do agree with Griffo when he said that, the reality is, there were, the 3 days, there was a lot of happy people right up until the very end. Well, and I think that's really true.
It's like the old saying, it was wild and reckless, and it's a lot of fun till somebody loses an eye.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You bring up a very good point, and we'll break and come back and talk on the other side of the break, but you bring up a really good point. Like, when I talk about going on Friday, we rode in the Budweiser blimp, and we watched from over top. We got to see that. I broadcast live from there in one of the hangars on Friday. But on Saturday and Sunday, we were just concert goers, and we went. But the beauty is, when Saturday was over and we'd had enough, what did we do? We went home, and we were in the comfort of our own home. Went back on Sunday and enjoyed till the fires. But you're right. There are people there that it had the camping experience. And the other thing that I think they missed out on completely was having a plan to remove the sewage.
Yeah.
There were, you've seen porta potties. When they showed pictures inside, and this might have been your footage, Rick.
No, I didn't do a lot of that kind of stuff.
He had other things to shoot, better things to shoot.
I was going over the woman that was crowd surfing, and I was getting that footage. But listen to me. You know how it'll have a toilet seat, and then there's the plastic hole that basically goes into the tank. Well, the sewage was right up to the toilet seat. And people are like, what are we supposed to do in there? I mean, and those were their bathrooms. Yeah. I mean, there was video of the sewage company taking some of it out, but there were just so many people, they couldn't keep up with it. And so a lot of that mud was sewage, and these guys are like rubbing their faces in it. I mean, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was fun when it was going on.
I guess, It looked like war paint.
Not that I was doing that.
All right, hold tight.
Rick's like, wait, that wasn't mud?
Hold tight. We'll talk about all of this on the other side of the break and your take. But if you've not seen it as of yet, the one thing I don't think that it did was portray our area as in a bad way, like I thought they were going to.
No, it wasn't even mentioned, really.
They really didn't. The area didn't play a role, and most of those people you saw were not even from here.
Yeah, but the one place they did mention, the Woodstock Stockyard Inn in Rome.
Oh, they did.
The place that opens in the morning and closes at 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay, we'll talk about that too. Hold tight.